In this video, we're going to explore how to write this mobile responsive menu bar, but this menu bar is not only mobile responsive, it is written in mobile first method. So this is quite a useful item and very exciting, especially if you have more and more viewers visiting your site from your mobile phone. So let's start and explore how to do this. Now it's time to, instead of creating a standard responsive menu, it's time to build one that is mobile first. And mobile first basically means that we're going to work from the point of view of the mobile device and with the mobile screen, and from there on, once that is done, we will work with larger screens, and then we can always adjust a few items. So this is a very important part, because if you start to develop a lot of websites, you will start to realize that eventually you need to work from mobile first, just for one reason. If you don't do this, you might make a mistake in afterward, because you're adding a lot of items on your desktop, and then if you go to a mobile screen size like this here, you will realize that you have to squeeze a lot of items, or you don't have space for that at all. And that is a very tough struggle. So working for mobile first avoids this issue. So let's start with this. So we're going to create the menu here, and what we're going to do here, this is our piggy bank website, basically, where we have a bank website where we're going to put in a very straightforward menu with the full screen here for mobile. So let's do this immediately. So what we're going to do here, the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to create a section. And this section, this is basically our navigation. And then in here, we're going to put in our logo. So we say here, we have a div class, we can say logo. And this logo has an aref or a anchor tag with the logo as name here, or basically an image with the official logo. And the image, you can all download it. It's in the resource section, or you can find them in the description box. You can find their link. You can download all the pictures that are required for this video. So we have this here, and I will give it a name because I stored it just quickly on my desktop. We call it piggybanker.png. And once we did that, the next item is adding up the navigation. So we say here the navigation. We can use here the nav, and in the nav we can do two options. There are basically two options with the nav tag. So the reason why we use the nav tag is basically to indicate to the search engine we're now working with a list of links. And although it's possible to put this one included in here, probably the best is to only focus as narrow as possible on the links, although images are fine as well. But the more concise, in my opinion, the better. So we're going to put in here, and we can do two options here. We can put in here a UL, or we can remove the UL and we just work with the anchor text itself. So I'm going to do this in this video. I will use just the anchor tag here, and in here we can put in here, let's say here home. Let's put in here a hashtag and copy this 4 more times. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have home, we have savings account, we have about us, we have contact us, and then finally, if ever there would be a sign in page, if ever there would be one. So this here we have now. So now we have this. What we also want to do eventually is to create a toggle box here. But let's start with the basics. So if we save this here and refresh, you can see now we already have our very straightforward design, but you can see we'll be having a conflict later on with too many of these items here, which is not a problem at all. What we can do here is we can just create a toggle box. So what we're going to do here is create a div class, and this will be our toggle box. And basically it will be the menu, a button that you click on, and then it will start to show or pop up the full screen menu for mobile. So we're going to do that. It's a toggle box, and then in this div we're going to have an image, or sorry, not an image, the href And this href contains basically the button here. Oh, this would be here a specific button, or we can do here an image. We have here image as well. You can download this, as I said before. Image, and then we say here menu.png. So if we save this now, alright, refresh, we have here these triple dots, which is like a nice menu here. And what we want to do is that when we click on this, this should appear here somewhere. So let's start and explore this immediately. So we save this and we go here and work on our CSS. So the first thing what I want to do here, I want to create a standard box here, or at least a top here menu bar where we can put in here the logo, and of course eventually the toggle box should be on the other side, and this needs to hide. We should only see these menu items here the moment we are on full screen. But when we are on our mobile device, we should not see them at all. So we're going to work, because this is mobile first, we're going to work with the default in CSS from the point of view of the mobile, of the mobile phone. So we're going to do this here. The first thing we're going to do here is basically here the section can get a color. We have here all the setup done. We have even the colors here. You can copy them as well. So what we're going to do here is, first of all, the section. In this section, we'll be having a background color. And this background color will be var. And this var will be dash dash color number 1. Oh, that's not the one. Number 1. And then what we will do is a padding. And this padding will be 20 pixels. Top, bottom, left and right. Once we save this and refresh, we now have something working. Alright, but we're not done yet. So the next item is basically our logo. What we want to do with the logo, because I don't like the black logo, we're going to convert it into a white logo, even though the image is black. Because you can see here, it doesn't fit well, it doesn't stand out well here with this dark pink design. So what we're going to do here is the following. We're going to get this class, which is logo, and then we have to pinpoint it to href, and of course here, or the anchor tag, so logo a img for the image. So we say class logo, and then we say a for the anchor tag, and then img, and in here we can say the following. We say here filter, we're going to put a filter on the image, and the filter will be inverted. So inverted, so we invert it and it will be number 1, meaning that it will be exactly the opposite of whatever it is right now. So once we refresh, white becomes black, and black would become white, etc, etc. So in our case it's black, so it becomes white. That's correct? So the next item what we want to do here is basically this here, the navigation. So the navigation will eventually become, and I realized we should do some additional adjustments here on the section. Let's do that one first before we continue. So what we're going to do here for the section first is to put in a display, and the display will be a flexbox. The flexbox is a very powerful tool. Highly recommend to research it if you don't know about it, but if you can follow along, you will learn about it as well. Because what we want to do is we want to have this one here. This item should eventually disappear, and that one should be at the other side. So what we're going to do here first is we do a flexbox. You say a flex, and then once we do that and refresh, you can see here now it starts to come all side by side. That's alright. And then what we want to say is here justify content, and here we put it here in space between, basically space between every element tag. The section is the flexbox, this is an element tag, and this is an element tag, and this element tag are the ones where we're going to work with, and these will be put space between with. So if we refresh here, you might not notice it, but if we open up here, you can see there's more space between, because now we have space, so this is correct. Alright, so now what we want to do here is, because right now you can see these items should be aligned as well. So if we go in here, we should center them correctly. Let's do that. And we say here, items, or align items, and then we put in here center. So we are vertically aligned. Refresh, and now everything has been vertically aligned. Alright, So we've got that now. Now we're done with the section. The next one is navigation here. The navigation will get a proper class of navigation. This is the navigation class. So we're going to pinpoint this one now. Once we got this class, so we say here the following, nav.navigation class. In here, what we really want to do is we will say here display none. And the reason why we do display none here, let's refresh here, because we don't want to show this at all. So this is already what we want. So basically we're here, very close, but of course once we click on this, we should see eventually a display here. But that's what we're going to work on later on. What we want to do now next is the toggle box here. The toggle box should have some tiny adjustments. First of all, this here should become white the moment we click on it, or sorry, the white by default. So we say here, this is the class toggle box, and this is with capital B, and then we have to check if that is correct. So we have the class toggle box, and then we have the A anchor tag, and then the img as well. So very similar to the upper structure here. So we say here A and img, and then here we can say filter invert 1. Save that. Alright. So here we have it. Now we're done with this part. What we want to do eventually here is we should have another item, which will be the closing toggle box basically. This will be not the menu item, but the close PNG, the close button, as you can see here, but we only want to show one first. So what I'm going to do here, there I'm going to say here class. This can be class menu, and this one will be class close. So we can pinpoint these now. And what we want to do basically here, in the toggle box, or basically the image close, class close, should be hidden here. So we say here display none. So once we refresh this, does it work? No. Oh, let me double check here because I didn't save this. Sorry, I will save this now. And now it's hide. So what we want to do is that we click on this, and at that moment there will be a new class here called active. And basically then we should show the close, and of course we should show our menu here. So let's do this immediately. So we're going to do some JavaScript here because we are now need to do some JavaScript. So we say yes script, put in here, and here basically we're going to do the following. We're going to say here, the moment we click on toggle box, at that moment this should become active, and this should be active basically, so we can pop up this screen here, and here depending on what will be active should show, and the other one should be hidden. Basically the menu needs to be hidden the moment it is active, and the close should be shown once we click on this basically. Alright, so that's what we're going to do. To make it very easy, I will say this will be menu by default, and then we add up a hide. The moment we click on the menu should be hidden, and this should show, and if this is we clicked again to close that, this should be hidden, and that needs to be shown. Alright, so what we're going to do now is then just to make the JavaScript, to make it very easy. So we say here function, and this function will be show menu. It's very straightforward. And then in here, we first of all want to add up in the navigation a new class called active. So we say here the following document dot query selector. And in this query selector, basically we're saying search for something specifically, and it will be a string. And what is exactly we're going to search? Well, we're going to pinpoint this here. But we need to search this by saying dot to indicate it's a class, and then navigation. There you are. And then we say here we will toggle, and toggle basically means add if it's not on there, and if you click again on it, remove it. Basically like a checkbox. A checkbox is also a toggle style of item or input. So in here we say the following: toggle which class. Oh, sorry, not yet toggle, but we say a class list, because we want to add a class list, and that class list that we're going to add will be toggle. Or not will be toggle, but we toggle this class list, and the name of the class list will be active. That's it. So the moment we do this and save this, and if we still have to add up here a onClick function, so we can do that here. We say here basically on the toggle box, on the anchor, on click, the moment we click, we want to trigger this function here. It's called show menu. Once we did this, save, refresh, and now pay attention here. Oh, I see here maybe an error. Margin 8, unexpected syntax. Let's double check here. Alright, I can see here, sorry. Put in a dot here. Save. And now it should be gone. Fair enough. Alright. The moment we click on this, pay attention here to this item here. You can see here we have the toggle box. So let me double check here. That's the one we need. Can we move this a bit more down? Alright. So the moment we click on this, you will see that the navigation will change. If we click, as you can see now, navigation has become active. If we click again, it will toggle, and it will toggle by appearing, and then it will remove again with the next toggle or with the next click. So that's basically a toggle, and that's it here. So that works. So now what we want to do is we want to have this, but we want to continue on with the item here as well. So what we want to do here is we want to also have the next one here to have this menu here. We search for this menu, and then the moment we click here, we should say here hide. And we do another one. The moment we click here on close, we should say, well, or not on close, but the moment we click on this, close should be shown. So we say here close, and we say here toggle show. Alright, so once we save this, refresh, you can see here now, if you click on this, what's going on here, you can see everything works. And then we go here and toggle. You can go check on the image here. You can see here hide and show. Alright, correctly. This is exactly what we want. Now we can start to work with the HTML to trigger the navigation first. So what we're going to do now is we're going to trigger the navigation. And here we have it. We will do it here between because it's part of the nav.navigation class. So in here, in this element, we're going to say the following. We will say here nav.navigation.active, and then we say here display, and this will be shown in the flex box, so we display flex. So let's save this, refresh, and now if we click, there you are. And now if we click and don't click, it starts to appear. Of course, this is not what we want still, but we're getting close to it. So the next thing what we want to do is we want to move this. Basically, it needs to move into a bigger screen, basically in here. So how will we do this? Well, basically in here, we can do the following. We'll say first position becomes absolute. And once we do that, it will be basically on top of the entire screen. Then what we want to do is we want to reposition where is the absolute starting. So I want to push the starting point to the top left here. So in this corner left, it starts, and then we say full screen in full width and full height. So we say here left 0 pixels because we want to start at the top left, and then we say here top 0 pixels as well, so then it will be really top left. And then we say here width 100% for full width, height 100% for full height, and eventually here a background color. So we want to add up a background color so we can easily spot this. So here background color, and then we can give this background color the variable, and then we can just use color 1, so we have the nice pink of piggy bank design. So we save this here, refresh, and now if we click, there you are. So we get something here, and then I see here background color. Oh, I put in background color 2, it should be background color 1. Let's save this, refresh again, do this, there you are. Alright, so the next what we need to do here is to reposition all these items here. I want to color them properly. They should get a bigger font, and they should be white, and then they should be also in the center here. So what we're going to do here is the following. Because we're not done yet with the flex box, because this is the flex box, and then here up, we're going to put them in the center vertically. So we say here the first thing is we want to say here justified content, and we say center. So we're going to put it in the center. Once we did that, we move it into the center here. Alright, so now it's in the center horizontally. The next thing what we want to do is align items, center. So we save this, refresh. Here, now we center them, center it vertically, but you can see the items are still in line. So we're going to do the last item here, which is flex position, or sorry, flex direction. And this flex direction then we can indicate the structure we want. We want column. We save that, then instead of this line here, they will become a column from top to bottom. So refresh, press, there we are. So now they are nicely organized. Let's give the items immediately a proper design as well. So we have here all these hrefs here. Let's start to redesign them. So we say here nav.navigation, basically navigation dot active, because that's the one we want. And then we say here A for href, for the anchor tag. And then in the anchor tag here, we're going to give it a design. So we say here, we can give here padding 20 pixels. Then what we can do here more is we can say here font color, or font, sorry, color. We give this white, triple F or color 1, variable. One that's not color 1 is color 3 if I'm not mistaken, dash dash CRL number 3. Alright. And then we will say here font size 20 pixels, and then eventually, because this is an inline, we probably have to put in a display. Let's see. We're going to click on this. Oh, alright, this works fine. It works fine because the item is considered as already a inline block, if I'm not mistaken, or as a flex. So let's double check here. Is this considered an inline block or a flex? What is the display here? Box size display. Did I miss it? Not yet here. Display. Alright. So you can see this is already display block. Why is this important? Because if it would be an inline, it doesn't respect the padding top and bottom. But in our case, it is a block, so it respects the padding top and bottom. Alright, so we know this now. We have that, alright. So we can say here as well, finally, is a font weight. You can say here bold. Save this, refresh here, and finally the underscore. I don't like the underscore, so text decoration, none. So no underscore here. If we save this now, refresh, and click on this, there you are. Alright, this looks beautiful. Now I want to pinpoint this triple dots here. So what we're going to do now is basically here, we're going to look at what we did here. The moment we click on it, what will happen? This image, or let me check here, the image menu will contain height. So that's what we're going to do. So we say here toggle box image, but we can do this one very simple here. Image, this will be image. Is it menu? Yes, menu, the class image, class menu, and then if ever it gets the height, so that means here right now you can see this. It has the menu height, it should hide, or display none basically. So we say here image menu, and then we say here height, display none. Alright, so this works, but then what we want to do here with the image close, what will be the image close? By default it's hidden, but if the image close has been clicked, then it will be image show, and then we say here again flex. So once we save this, refresh, click, and there you are. So now we have a proper design here, and our close button has been matched with the proper icon. Alright, so now we're done with this, but if we open up our, or if we close our mobile viewing, you can see right now it is still only focused on the design of mobile. And maybe you like this, and if you do like it, you can just maintain this, but maybe you don't. And if you don't like it, we want to put in here our menu, so let's do this immediately. So what do we have to do here? Well, basically we're going to write mobile well, this is mobile first. So what we're going to do here is now create what we call screen responsiveness, basically, for our desktop responsiveness. So what we're going to do here is the following. We will say here add media, and then we say here only screen add, or I think it's on, or add on, or let me double check. Alright, so sorry, it was not add, but it was end. So basically, if it's screen end, then in here, you will say the minimum width equals to 991 pixels. And why this? Because Bootstrap used this before, and this has become the official standard or most common used. If this is really the perfect way, well, I'm sure that there are different items you could adjust to. You can control this to what you like, but this is the very common one. So, but what we want to do is now, the moment we are 991 pixels, or almost 1000 pixels in screen size width, at that moment, we will have a different design. So instead of the upper one, it will get the upper one unless here below it has been specified. So what we want to do here now is we want to look here, and we say here the navigation should be, instead of display none, should be here in flex, basically display flex. So once we do this, we refresh, you can see now it works, but of course we still need proper designing here. And next, we want to remove this item here because we want to move this one to the very right. So we say the next item, what we want to pinpoint basically is the, what is that? The menu toggle box. That's the div toggle box. So we say here div.toggle box. Here we say display none. If we do this and save, refresh, there you are. Alright, so we're getting very close to it, and now we can basically give our anchor tags a proper design. So we say nav.navigation anchor tag. Then in here we can say font size maybe 16 pixels, that would be more than enough. And then we say also padding, and our padding will be 10 pixels. And finally we have here the last item, which would be the color of the fonts. We say your color variable, the variable function dash color number 3 for the white color, and probably the font weight of bold. Once we did that, we save this and refresh. There you are. Final item we can do is the text decoration. Oh, sorry, not text decoration, but link decoration. So we say text decoration. That's it. Not declaration, but decoration. Sorry. And this one will be none. So we don't want this. We refresh this, save that, refresh. There you are. But if we open up our mobile design, then we still have this. Beautiful. And if we would expand that, so let's say here we don't have this, we have this screen here, and we start to gradually expand this. Do we see anything? No. Can we see something here if we keep on expanding? Yeah, there you are. So the moment we hit 991, you can see the screen has changed, or the menu has changed. And that's basically it, how you can create a mobile responsive design for your menu that is really built with mobile first, where we have like screen responsiveness. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have any questions with this, put them in the comment section below. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe to my channel, and if you have any questions regarding this, make sure you put them in the comment section. I'll get back to you. And if you enjoyed this video, check out the next video here. You will probably enjoy this as well.